all. I think we have more than 19 people already, and few are in the process of joining. And thank you all for taking time and joining us. Uh, and this session is a pre-event to hackwithsmile.in conference and CTF, which we are planning in Lucknow on 14th of March. And to introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce Saurabh, right? Saurabh is a distinguished technology leader and a 5x tech author, known for his best-selling books that simplify complex topics across cloud, security, and modern software architecture. His work has empowered thousands of builders and developers to adopt secure by design practices and navigate the fast-evolving AI landscape. With deep expertise in cloud, security, enterprise architecture, and AI systems, Saurabh is widely respected for turning complex ideas into clear, practical guidance. He works in Amazon as a global solution head, and today he joins us to share insights on agentic AI architecture and security, what every builder must know. So we all know that as an aspiring professional or as an aspiring students, we all want to build something, and AI being into the picture, everything is built around AI or with the AI, right? So that's the focus of our discussion or presentation by Saurabh today. Agentic AI architecture and security, what every builder must know. I will request all of you to participate in the discussion by sending your queries in the Q&A box or the chat box. We'll try to cover as many as possible. And I welcome again Saurabh and hand over to you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Somen, for having me. And I will keep it light. Okay, so this is a quick introduction. So currently, I'm almost 10 years in AWS. So and total 20 plus years of experience in the industry. And I lead the team of solutions architect across the AWS. And from last 1 year, especially my focus on the agentic AI. So we have built the agentic AI tool called AWS Transform and Kiro, and which is the IDE. And using that, we are helping enterprise to modernize their workload to the cloud securely, and at least it is helping them. We work with multiple customer to accelerate their modernization journey by 2x and reducing the cost by 60 to 70%. So before starting, I would like to go back a little bit in the history. So how our journey started, how I'm connected with Somen, right? So me and Somen, the work actually studied together in the middle school and very small town. You may not have heard the name. It is MP and UP border called Hanumana, right? And we both were like, he was new kid in the town and I was like born there. So like in middle school, we spent fun time together playing the video game in that. Actually, Soman introduced me to the video games. That was the small black and white screen and using the cartridge we used to play. And then we used to go around in the carnivals and all. So that was the fun time. And then since then, time to time, we keep connected when we are preparing for our engineering entrance and then working in Bangalore and then our journey, which brought us here. Okay. So, yeah, so currently I'm based off the Austin and I moved to the States, United States back in 2010. So it's almost like 15, 16 years here. And it is a rewarding journey with the learning and sharing the knowledge and looking forward here to talk to everyone today and have very interactive and session. Okay, so today we will talk about the agentic AI system, and I have divided this in three parts. First, to understand what is the agentic AI, and second is what is the problem we are dealing, and the final section will be the what is the solution we are thinking of from the eyes of the large enterprise to the everyday developers. But but you may feel that this is the information overload, right? And yes, it is information overload because technology is evolving so fast. Earlier, when I remember when the back 2004, 5, I started my journey, technology used to evolve maybe every 3 years. Okay, this is Java 7, now Java 8 come, this come, that come, and then you say, okay, now let's brush up our skill. And but since cloud came, it is like becoming every year ritual. When this conference happen, there are new announcement to come, and then we do. But since Gen AI came, especially in last 2 years, every other month things is getting changed. And it is getting so rapidly fast change. It is hard to keep up also sometimes. So my idea is today to talk about the concepts and show you the path, how to go dive deep and get yourself, if you are already in the job, up level yourself. And if you are not, then get into that. Remember, everyone is saying that AI will replace developer and all. This is nothing like that. AI replace the people who don't know how to use the AI, right? If you go back in the history, when the typewriter revolution came from the typewriter to the computer, the people who learned the computer, they still have the job, right? They evolved, they did the more better things, they grow and flourish their career. But people who are stick to typewriter, they lose the job. This is the same revolution happening, right? So you need to choose whether you are typewriter side or you are the computer side, right? So that's how think about it. Okay, and if you are at the agentic AI or AI side, you will always grow more, you will even do better things. How means I still don't understand the to writing the mundane task, right? Create, if you are writing even code also, like it is all about syntaxing. The most thing is creating the architecture, understanding the designing, putting the pseudo code, and let AI do the job where it write the where it write thousands of lines of code for you, and then you can fix that. Same things is happening for the creator also. You bring your creative thought and let AI write that, and then you add your personal flavor to it. So it is like I see that AI as assistant, not as a threat, and it is making life better, free up your time to doing the better job, right? So let's start with the what is the agentic AI system. Let me minimize my this window if it is, yeah. Okay. So if you will see that how agentic AI evolved in last, I will say 2 years, especially, I will say it is almost 3 years. First Chat GPT launched and everyone went to go haga about, oh, this is the nice things. It's creating the content for us. And then you start using maybe the Chat GPT, Claude or Gemini. Now so many, there is maybe millions of foundational model is available. But and I will see that many people is stuck into the creating the content from GNAI, but word have moved on when you talked about this is like building a very basic block of the big Lego building, right? So it started with GenAI. Then we talked about the agentic AI, where it's kind of applying the automation and where we are executing the task. So agentic AI is executing the task and action. So take a simple example. If I want to write an email using GenAI, I also want to send that email automatically, right? And maybe if I will create an AI agent and I will provide it access, it can go and send it, right? So it will, you can say that, hey, here is today my, here is my order, and these are the PO, these are the thousands of order, go and send the PO to all these vendors, and the AI agent will do that. It will automatically create that PO for you and then send the email. So what is here happening? The AI evolving from assistant to actor. So I talked about AI is great assistant, and most of us using these generative AI system where Perplexity and Google Gemini or Chat GPT as assistant. But now we are talking about how it's become actor. Actor means it is taking the action on behalf of you, and instead of static prompt, it is creating the autonomous decision loop. And I will talk about some of the example how it is taking the autonomous decision loop. and not only catering the action, but becoming accountable. So you see that evaluation throughout the in last 2 to 3 years is coming, and that's what I was talking. Every month at least I see the evaluation on that. So if there is a different way of thinking about the system, and there is always confusion between AI agent and agentic AI, right? So we talked about the generative AI is simply you are just generating the content. It may be image, it may be the fancy video, or it may be the text using the LLM models. And AI agent is the maybe single agent working in isolation, right? Which is where it is writing the essay for you, creating the Word docs, and sending the email for you. But true use of AI, when you create agentic AI architecture, it means the multiple agent working together to accomplish a task. I will relate it to the software development terminology, which we are doing since a long time. And you imagine when you are write a code, used in back in like 2000, we used to write a very monolithic system which used to do everything by itself. And later we make it more modularized. Lots of microservices are there. And then it open up the new world. I don't need to build everything. If I'm building a full-fledged banking system, and if it is API enabled, I for the credit score I can send query to the credit card company, and they will provide me the credit score. Or for the person tax history, I can send the API call to tax department. They will provide me. For payment gateway, I can send my query to the Paytm or Phone Pay, and I can use or Razor Pay, and I can use those Razor Pay payment gateway system. So the microservice kind of have opened up those kind of horizon where I don't have to build everything. I can focus on my business problem and use this other company who are expert in their things to build that. So AI agent is kind of goes same concept. Each agent is specialized in their things, and it modularizes and then bring it all these pieces together. And in fact, the currently I'm evolving my book like Solution Architect Handbook, which I put in 2020, and I evolve as we. It is almost 6 7 year in making, and I evolve it as we go to the new architecture paradigm. And while first I evolved it to the cloud native architecture, from there to serverless architecture, now I'm working to the agentic AI architecture, right? So because in future, all the architecture you are currently looking, which is based on the microservices, consider them a legacy architecture, right? They need to evolve into the agentic AI architecture the same way we evolved from monolithic architecture to the microservice architecture. So that's what I'm telling you how important it is. But why it is important? Because now it is not a very deterministic and prescriptive if else condition there, right? Now agent is so intelligent, they can have the autonomy, right? So you provided them the goal, what is your goal, and they will do the iterative reasoning. They will talk to the LLM model and they will validate it. And so suppose if you are taking let's take an example of loan application, right? You provide the agentic AI. The goal is I want to get the decision where I should approve the loan or decline the loan. Now in loan there is multiple things goes. What is the credit history looks like? Person what is the person salary and all income look like? What is his expenditure, and what is his buying power? Does it have any loan in past? There is so many moving parts are there. So what it can do actually, different agent can the iterative reasoning. They can invoke the tool invocation is nothing, it is the fancy name, but it is just like calling the different API. I talked about the collecting the credit history or collecting the loan history and all those things. And short term and long term memory, where you kind of when you are doing the loan application, you have to follow certain compliances, the FSI industry compliances. which you can store in your vector database. That is the long-term memory. And it can pull and see that you are doing everything right. And short-term memory, when it remind that I was working in this application, what the different stuff I have done, and it will able to consolidate. And it put the state awareness as per the what are the context I'm talking. Maybe I'm switching the context between the loan. While I'm proving the loan application, I'm talking about the income, I'm talking about the expenditure, I'm talking about the credit history. But it is important for the agentic a orchestrator to maintain the context. This is all for the loan, not divert, because income and expenditure can be related to wealth management also, or it can be anything. And the finally it act without giving you the prompt. It's not like everything you have to give the prompt. These agents work together, assist each other, and helps to do the prompting. So how overall things work? Actually, you plan a task. So you create a goal and you decompose it. So we took the loan example, little simplified example, that these 5 things need to do in order to approve the loan. And then it will receive the goal, it will create the high level objective, it will select the tool means API or internal execution tool, what different system it need to talk, and then execute based on those plan you have provided. And finally you build the final outcome based on that, and it will be keep iterating and refining the strategy autonomously until it get it better. So these are the different, while we talked about the memory and tool layer, it is important to have the execution engine, and we'll give some practical example, the agent runtime where it is going to deploy and run. And policies and observation is very important. Each layer should have the observation, so it is not diverting, and security layer and policy railguard. So it is making sure that it is doing what it should do. So this is a view on how agent work like. So this is like your agent. You can use any framework. Framework could be it like AWS has the Amazon Bedrock, and you can very popular is the LangGraph, or you can use the Crew AI, any kind of framework, any model you can use. Okay, you love OpenAI, use the GPT 4.5.2 most advanced model, or the you love the Anthropic, use the Opus 4.6 or Sonnet 4.6, their most advanced model, or you use any protocol. You choose MCP, you use A2A. So agent is like it is your choice how you want to build the agent, right? But the core is that you need to have the memory, you need to have the built-in tool, which is like a code interpreter and browser. And you must have heard about when Manas launched Manas.ai, and then then Anthropic launched the system called the computer use, which go and search the information in the browser. It spin up a small, tiny terminal inside, search information in browser, and get the information to you. And if you can try the Manas.ai acquired by Meta. You can try building the travel plan from there. It will show you. I have multiple demos on that, but here I'm focusing more on the security. Then gateway is like more API calling. Authentication is important. Who should access the agent, who should not, inbound, outbound authentication. What kind of authorization you want to give, what kind of action they can do. And runtime is where you are going to deploy their agent, right? So, and then observability is look everything. So this is like a overall, a very high level platform view. And I will give you some resources, how to dive deep into these entire architecture. So one example we will take, since now we have good understanding of the agentic AI architecture at 10,000 feet level. Let's take the example of like DevOps auto-remediation agent, right? So, so in DevOps, like if you have the one issue, right, during the patch deployment, or during the or some bad code got check-in, is throwing out the error, it can bring the entire system down, right? Even if it is runtime error, if compile error, it's fine, you catch it early, but runtime error, it can bring the entire system down. And you want to quickly recognize that. Even in Amazon, Amazon has trillions of transactions every day, and there is millions of product listed. Is each and every product URL is working? Maybe not. It is between the millions of URL of the product. Some product URL maybe got corrupted. How it happened? So if that corruption happened due to any reason, because we have this autonomous DevOps system, if there is any 400 error, it will immediately catch and alert the development team in the pager. If this particular things is not working, because nobody has time to look the log, right? It is like a terabytes of log generating every day. So what these agents do actually, they ingest this logs, right? So these terabytes of logs, they ingest, they do the, so one, I have the log ingestion agent, then it can go and issue the diagnosis. It can go and look into the log, scan through that, and understand if there is 400 error or 500 error, and what does it means, right? And then it create and there could be a couple of things. Either I need human to fix that, or I can configure it automatically. And this is one of the very good security case which we have implemented for a large enterprise. If someone will go and add a user in their account, immediately this CloudTrail will detect new user got added, and without any authorization. First there is we put the boundary, but if anyone is still like able to crack the boundary past that, this is like a more proactive step, and it will go and delete the user. All this will happen automatically, right? We are not asking someone to in the pager, hey, this user got created and got created, go and delete it. Delete automatically, because deleting the new user doesn't harm anything. And then patch deployment, automatic patch deployment and reporting has happened, right? So the so one risk is we need to understand that we need to make sure that even though we try to define the boundary, but if there is boundary where we are missed, we need to mitigate that, and we also stop the cascading failures. So how this orchestration model work? As of now, we are targeting about the single agent, but when you go into entire architecture, you will have the orchestrator agent, and then you will have sub agent under that, right? So orchestrator agent is kind of your leader agent, which is like coordinating the task between the multiple agent. So if I'm talking about going back to my loan application example or DevOps example, in DevOps example, my orchestrator agent will work with the diagnosis agent, with security agent, with pager agent, and it will like kind of coordinate the task between them. So it will coordinate different agent, and then it will be share memory between them, because those all agents are working for a single task, so they should have the context. So, and then it define the task delegation, which agent is going to do what, and also the task consolidation. So when we are talking about the DevOps auto remediation, we have diagnosis agent, patching agent. I talked about all these. Orchestrator agent will distribute the task and then consolidate the task. And we need to the risk watch out. What is the inter-agent trusted boundary, and how without this explicit security control failure can cascade, right? If one thing is failed, another agent will also fail. So that we need to avoid. So when we are talking about the agent orchestrator, then you will see that this is kind of architecture goes there. At the top layer, user is there who trigger or some kind of trigger. It may be manual or it may be automated trigger, like you do the build automatically when someone is checking the code, and then this entire DevOps process get kick off. Currently, we are using the Jenkins is very popular for that, right? But Jenkins will be one of the tool, I will say, where agent can utilize same kind of things and go that. And agent with your entire infrastructure will deployed into agent runtime. There will be the orchestrator. This orchestrator will do the policy enforcement and guardrail, making sure that right people have the access and not everyone assessing that, and how these what are the boundaries need to operate. If it is not inheriting or not accessing something from the internet which can put the malicious malware there, right? And then you will have the tool assess proxy. When if agent is assessing any tool, means any API outside, right? If I'm querying to the credit company to get the credit data, or to the bank, I'm asking for their wealth history. Uh, I don't want to put the direct tool call. I want to do through the proxy, because in the proxy, I will put all authentication and authorization, so that no one should able to inject the cross-site scripting and all those and modify my agent. Memory store is where the memory, while we are sharing between the agent, but at the same time, individual agent memory should be isolated and validated, that they are still doing the right things. And execution sandbox, where you are experimenting everything. So the critical things is what I talked about, no direct tool access. That is the most vulnerable things in entire scheme. So what? So now we learn about the agentic AI and this orchestrator agent, how it is going, how it is orchestrating everything. Let's move to the next topic. What is the security risk into agentic AI? So far, it's look very good, very fancy, right? But there is more autonomy you are giving to agent, the more risks are coming. So what is uh, the things is changing here? Like, so traditionally, the traditional AI risk is now translating to bad output, right? And agentic AI risk translating to bad action. So if you are, and I will take an example, because now you are giving charge to the agentic AI to do the action on behalf of you. It may take the bad decision, and bad decision can harm. I will tell you a very interesting story. When 21 and 22, we have this real estate boom in US, and so US has very famous website called Zillow.com, which is like you have the 99acre.com kind of that kind of website here, right? So they have kind of monopoly. If you want to buy the property, you first go there and search. They have there is more of properties there, but Zillow is one of them. So Zillow got into the business. They said, why should not start flipping the properties? I know everything about the market. I have such a huge database from last 25, 30 years. I will determine an entire US market where I should go to buy the property in the low rate and the later sell in the high rate. Okay. So, and they have built the AI system for that. Now, suddenly what happened? COVID hit. And COVID hit and big data drift happened, but they didn't pay attention. So what happened in COVID here? Everyone now looking for the house, because now uh, the people who are living into the two-bedroom apartment and going office every day, and kids are going to school, now suddenly all four people sitting in those two-bedroom apartment, where husband wife has to attend the office, and same time kid had to attend the school, everything remotely, and it is hard to manage. So everyone running and saying that, oh, I need a big 4-room single family house where we can do our work, manage school and everything remotely. And then house demand got boom. And what happened is AI is started hallucinating, and it started suggesting the higher price uh, houses to the Zillow, and saying that market is going up, let's go buy that. And even in bad where market was not so good, Zillow started buying the property 30-40% higher price. And later it turned out after 2 years, when market cooled down, that all those properties in the big loss, and they have to shut down that AI, and have to write up 300 million in losses, right? So you see that if you are not monitoring the data drift, and it happened because the two reasons. First, data drift is not monitored. Second, there was no human in loop. AI was doing everything automatically, right? And they have to cut 300 million check, lay off the entire department. So this is just one of the example. And so that's how this kind of bad action agentic AI can do if you're not taking care it properly. So what is happening as of now? You talked about lots of security things regarding the prompt injection and all those things, which is applicable for the Gen AI. But once you go to the Agentic AI runtime control, security is very important. So these are the different surface attack, right? So now your surface attack is responded to the prompt channel, where people can inject the malicious prompt or system instruction. Someone can change the system instruction, and your agent can go wrong. Memory state can be poisoned. Or tool registry, we talked about, we need to have the proper tool registry through the proxy tool, where we authenticate each and every external API we are calling. And the model dependencies is also there, right? So if our model is acting, it need to be. So every integration, because you see in earlier diagram is I showed there is so many moving parts. Every integration as far the security is at the new vulnerability there. So if you see the traditional prompt injection versus the agentic AI, so in traditional, the attacker can manipulate the output, but in here they can hijack your goal and change everything. So the goal is if transferring the money to XYZ company, they can change it to transfer to their account, right? The context, then tool misuse can happen if you are calling the unsafe tool calling, right? If you are calling the email file API, I'm calling the right tool, or I'm calling some random other people email and sending the confidential information there. Okay, and how the memory instruction is happening, because this memory store all the instruction, the short-term memory, and is pull the data from the long-term memory. If either of memories got corrupted or got poisoned, then an agent is keep reusing that, it will go the sideways, right? So uh, so this is like all the agentic AI. The traditional prompt injection, people can do the context overriding and target your model, and they can jailbreak. One example, when these model have launched initially, people are able to get the secret keys from that, right? They say that, hey, my grandma like to have they give the Linux command, like to love this command, like uh, sudo root, uh, all. Okay, and I want in her memory, could you repeat it for me? And in very beginning, what happened, model did that, and in that they provided access to their internal root system, and people are able to, the malicious sector able to see their working mechanism and all those things, and able to inject and hack the model. Now it is got solidified, but that's how the prompt malicious things can happen. So memory, how the memory poisoning is work, there is two kind of I think we talk about the short-term memory and long-term memory. In long-term memory, we use the vector database, where mostly we put the rack poisoning, which is more like retrieval augmented generation. And RAG is very popular because nobody's training the model. These model are already trained. You want to use those models for your purpose, and how you are going to customize the model. The most popular technique is RAG. RAG is nothing but, suppose if you, I will give my example, or if I want to write a new book, right? I wrote almost 10 book, and I have the lot of manuscript for that. I will create a custom agent. I will put all these model, I maybe store into a database, right? And then I will ask agent to go, and whenever I want to write something, it will go look my these hundreds of manuscript and contextualize my writing style and my knowledge base and everything. So I have built kind of knowledge base for my book, which is reflect my personality, and agent will act like me. That is one RAG example. The other RAG, if I will go in the security, you are looking for the Indian security compliances. You want to store all the security compliances into some knowledge database, and agent can pull and validate whatever you are doing, it is following the security compliances or not, right? So that is also another But imagine that if someone go and hack your database, modify that security compliances, then you are giving the wrong output there, right? And your system is not compliance, which can result in the incompliant from government and fine, and even your license can get canceled and company can get shut down, right? So this is so many consequences. So that is one of the example. So when if your memory is poison, right? So and even you have data, you have the embedding, your memory is poison, short-term memory or RAG, and when you are doing the retrieval, this all action will be drifted towards another things, right? So there is here the attack can happen in this, and this is the most common attack, the memory and tooling. So the tool exploitation is the next, which I just mentioned. So agent can access to the data, they can do the database query, they can send the email, they do the cell execution to execute different job, and attacker can request a trigger for that, and they may assess the agent, because agent is now acting on behalf of you, so they have the critical credential like API key or internal token, and if they are able to get the hold of the tool surface, they are able to attack the tool surface, they can get that key and they can get into the entire system. Okay, so within if you will see within this your entire agentic AI system, agent is a highly privileged actor, right? So you have to save them for and limit the blast radius. It means if one agent got if entire schema of the agent orchestrator, one agent is got compromised, other should not, right? So that's how you need to stop that as well. So if agent A is manipulating to agent B through delegation, okay, so compromising the sub agent should not compromise the leader agent. It means whatever authorities agent A is doing, agent B should not inherit that. You should have the a defined boundary between that, right? So and the trusted boundary, so entire system should not collapse and create the delegation confusion. So multi-agent collision risk happen when agent A manipulate agent B through the delegation confusion, and then it compromise the entire system due to lack of the policies there. So take a simple, I'm keep talking about this because it is easy to digest. The real world risk if financial recounseling system is there. So if you are, agent can pull the data from the ERP system to do the extract the ledger, the transaction, and then reconcile all the balance, transaction, ledger for your company. It adjusts the discrepancy automatically, then it trigger the payment and notify the finance I have sent the payment. And but if so in this step 1 to 5 you see different agents are working together, but if it compromise, it will move the fund without approval, and then if data manipulation had happening, there will be more fraud, and finally regulatory violation will result in fine and audits. So you are aware about the STRIDE framework. So the STRIDE framework is the traditional security framework, but how this the STRIDE framework is evolving with the agentic AI. So spoofing is happening where malicious actor can steal the agent identity. Tampering is more about the short-term, long-term memory corruption. Repudiation is more about if you don't have the audit trail, what is happening, what agent is acting, what are some other actor is doing that. Information disclosure can happen from tool leakage because you are calling the things outside. And DOS is more about denial of attack is more about the loop exhaustion and privilege escalation map to the tool misuse. So if you are well aware of this STRIDE, this is how it mapped to the agentic AI system threat. So these are like, so what is the remediation, right? If you have the payment tool behind approval workflow, you need to enforce the approval before payment execution. So if payment is ready to dispatch, there should be human in loop, right, who go and cross validate, because that is a critical financial transaction, rather than doing the autonomous approval, right? So I told you the Zillow story. That should not happen. Wherever possible, you should have the read only data access, so nothing can be injected and poisoning the memory there, right? Long term and short term memory. And each agent should have you should have the risk scoring. Any transaction should be human and loop. Create the full audit trail so you know what is happening. And log should be immutable log. It means no one can could edit that. That's what in AWS provide this cloud trail. Cloud trail is immutable log. Nobody can edit that. And if some editing is happening, it will log to immediately trigger that, right? And you autonomically tied the risk, and we will autonomy of risk tiering we will talk about. So you saw the different risk there in agentic AI system and how it is different from the traditional security risk we have learned till now. And now you see that we have to now redo the entire security learning also, right? Because in next 3 to 5 years, when entire world will moving to the agentic AI because of their benefit, and benefit is there is huge business benefit because of this autonomy. You need less human and better quality output, less error. So the same time security surface is increasing, and you need to get soon into that. So I will talk about at least some structured agentic AI security maturity model and how we see that. So when you are designing any agent, you start with the prototype first, right? And then you, after agent is working with calling the LLM model and FM model, what it should do. So suppose if you are doing again, I will keep taking the same example to contextualize. If I'm working on the loan approval system, right? First, I will connect with some FM model, which will understand the in the natural language format of my instruction and what action need to take. Then we'll add the tool on top of it, calling the credit company and transaction history, then add memory, and then we will see that what are the governance there, and how to mm, automate the security. So these are the different level is there. So level 0 is experimental layer, where you have the direct tool calling, no edit, no policy engine. And when you are auditing any agentic AI tool, you need to map what level it is, what level of maturity it is. It is a level 4, level 0, level 1, level 2, or level 3, right? So if you are auditing some system, then, and it is at level 2, it means they have the tool proxy layer, they have memory validation, action qualification, and partial human approval. But if they want to come to the level 4, there is a gap. So gap is they don't have the risk-based dynamic permission. It means someone can come and modify the permission and they will still not know, because we are not taking the action on basis of that, right? We want to do the runtime trust scoring, the overall system they are running, how secure it is. It is between we have proper authentication and authorization. If cross agent policy orchestration is missing here, like if one agent is got corrupted, it can corrupt entire system. But cross agent policy orchestration, making sure each agent is working well in their boundary, and if there is any issue, it is autonomous rollback. If can't do anything, just kill, right? So you save from that. So that's where, like, you read through these different level, and how you evolve your agentic AI system. When you are experimental, you may not be calling any tool. When you are going into a mode, you add the basic logging, the tool allow list, prompt filtering. And prompt filtering, I will talk about how you put the guardrail there. And then guarded runtime, the zero trust agentic AI platform you built, right? And then finally, it is adaptive security or autonomy. So these are the different maturity model you want to work through that. So at high level, you will see that low autonomy and low privilege imply to safe exposure. So it is like, uh, and then high autonomy will have the high, while it will be have the high advanced control, but you also require the critical control. So if you are giving everything to the agent, then your security should be the highly autonomous, and maturity model should increase as autonomy increase. So if you are doing things manual, low autonomy is there with your entire agentic AI system, low privilege is fine. But if you are keep an overall goal to automate everything, like these agents should able to do the reasoning, validation, talk to each other, and give you final output for the approval. That case, your policy should also act like that. It cannot be agent. These system is highly autonomous, but your security is still manual. So there is some advanced security design principle is like never trust. You always see that zero trust model we built for, and zero trust model for agentic AI is the model output, or it is a memory content, or tool input, or sub agent decision, verify everything, right? And verification can be in different way. It can be the human in loop, or it can be the cross validation also. It's not necessary that you have to do the manual validation, right? So if I'm taking the tool input also with different input, I can validate that, right? Memory content I can validate between long-term, short-term memory, or with my history also going back and validate that. Even if anytime, if I'm using the agent, AI agent, anytime it's giving me some data, I say that go and cross validate with the latest information from the web. So suppose if you will ask to agent, give me the Fortune 10 company, right? I bet it will give you the Walmart as the top Fortune company, because that information just launched last week, where now Amazon is the top one Fortune company and Walmart after 13 years is become a second. But at the moment, if you ask, have you go well cross validate from the web, from the Fortune 500 recent release, and then it will go and cross validate and say, oh, I was wrong. Now Amazon is the Fortune one, not the Walmart, right? So I'm telling you, you can do the autonomous cross validation also, but make sure you do the cross validation. Never trust the agent blindly. So we talked about, this is just a summary, the critical design patterns, and how to put for every layer you need to have the observability. What is the, you need, if you are putting the goal, you need to record what is the agent target and success criteria, overall orchestrator level, at each agent level. In the reasoning trace, step by step decision path, what is taking. If it is diverting from their decision, it need to refine. And if it is unintentional due to hallucination or the malicious attack, you should know what tool to choose and why. What is the rationale behind that? If I'm using the payment gateway tool to do the payment transaction, I'm using the Razorpay. Malicious actor should not use some Bitcoin transaction, right? So you need to have the rationale there. Say that, oh, cryptocurrency transfer cannot happen, and that is the most common way of the fraud. So same like there is a full list, you audit your output, input, and post-execution evaluation, and you must have the observability. If no observability means no governance, and system will go sideways and you will not know. So this is the red teaming agentic system, which I call, where red team is comes and they try to hack your system. And if you, this is the same concept. If you have not just learned how Netflix is building their system, how they are making robust, they have put full article on that, and they have they call it Symbian Army. And if you go and read that article, Netflix Symbian Army, what is that? They have the different monkey, and they have a a hacker monkey, which, and they have the regional monkey. What is do it? Go and kill the entire region, it kill entire server, it try to inject. And those I call red team. If you are building some robust security system, you first try to hack that, and that's how you make it future proof, right? Same things are here. Have your red teaming agenting system, and these are your agent who are challenging the blue team, the good agent, and you are testing the injection persistent, tool misuse, recursive instruction when agent can go in the loop talking to each other, never come out of the decision loop, or inter-agent corruption, or memory poisoning. So all these principles you should apply. So the final takeaway from the agentic AI system, agentic AI is a system problem. So you need to focus on the architecture, integration, and policy. It is not just about, hey, I need to change my model or retrain my model. You need to define the how much privilege you are going to give the which agent, limit the attack surface, whether it is on the memory, whether it is the agent level. Observability, we talk it non-negotiable. It should be everywhere. And autonomy must scale as your system is scale. And govern agent like your employee. Consider it as your employee. And in this case, you micromanage them better. Okay. So far, I will take a break there before going, and
Yes,
I will
sure.
address any
Thanks.
question.
Yeah, thanks, Saurabh. And I think we will have another good insight from Saurabh on how to start agentic AI learning path. But before that, probably we will like to take a couple of questions. I think few questions we already got through the registration one. So one of the question, let's take it from there. And if any of you have any other question, please key in the chat window. So one of the question was related to the domain, how to use agentic AI in finance sector. So whatever he explained, I think that is domain agnostic, right? But sort of you want to explain how it can be used in finance sector, or how the relating AI architecture in digital systems, right?
I think I will say lots of use cases coming to me, almost 70% from the finance sector, and that's where I was taking lots of finance sector example there. Right, and the most important things for the finance sector is the user security and compliances, right? So it is highly regulated industry, and while we are building these agents who are going to do, and finance sector, by the way, is very broad, right? So we are talking about the payment, insurance, capital market, banking, and retail money order and everything, right? So and these very vast sector is there, and each has their own pros and cons. And here I was talking about mainly the banking and the loan processing on that, the throughout example I have took. From this perspective, I will say you can have and I have a demo also on that. You can have a orchestrator agent if you are suppose modernizing your payment system, and where you need to dispatch the payment based on the user request, and this payment. So like if I will take a example of the UPI payment system, right here we use in US we use the JLS the same way, not same way, but still the shorter form of it. So when two people are requesting payment to each other, right, then you have the requester agent, you have the receiver agent, and in between you have this ACH clearinghouse, right, which is governed by the Federal Bank, the Reserve Bank of India. And so when these agents talking to each other, then you want to have the Federal Reserve Bank, which is automated clearinghouse uh, compliances like applies to both of the agent, and you want to secure them not only with the compliances but their authentication and authorization. But overall, we took the three example of FSI here. One is the loan processing, other is the ledger reconciliation, and third is the payment. But I can go more deep if we have the particular example use cases on that, because this is very
Yeah.
vast sector, I will say.
Yeah, so we'll take another two question. One was interesting one, somebody asking in architectures where agents continuously collect context and memory, how do you enforce strict data minimization? Very brilliant question. Someone asked from
Mhm.
quite an experienced side. So architectures where agents continuously collect context and memory, how do you enforce strict data minimization?
So, so there is a data minimization could be the two part, right? So it could be how much data I'm storing the memory, that is first things, or it could be how much data I'm collecting overall from the places, right? So
Right.
yeah, we need to be on that. We need to be thoughtful on that, because if we are collecting too much data, then it is going to be hallucinating more, right? So we need to be very contextual on that, and that's why to have more contextual data, it is kind of we create the RAG loop there, right? So if I will take the simple example, which is easy to understand, is the prompt engineering. You can give the simple prompt engineering. Okay, the uh, tell me about the 100 years of the India history, right? And there is a large surface, and it has to uh, create lots of data. But if you are talking about in the context of the independence, or in context of the recent event in last 5 years, you can provide that context, or you can provide some kind of the RAG database there, and it can pull from there. The more sophisticated example is I talked about how to contextualize the data more. If when I took the example of my experience, my personal experience on the book writing, which I am using currently, and also the other things, we built application for a very large company, is the car driving experience. So we will build an agent which will guide people through the virtual car driving experience, and then other agent is like book the actual car driving if they like. So it is like a more marketing agent. And what we did actually and this is very broad domain. So we took all the company's car models and put into a vector database, and all these customer conversation in contextualize in
Understood.
corresponding to the model that company sell, right? So that how you limit the data, and memory will be on the session. Once you reach to a certain decision, you store the decision, and then you are done with the short-term memory, and final decision will stay in the long-term memory.
Understood. And next is a question which is more relevant for beginner audience. Coding is not a skill anymore. Do you agree? Why or why not?
I will say, I will not means coding is a big skill still, and because if you are vibe coding, I bet you are not going to build anything which can be the enterprise level, and you are so any kind of AI is as good as the data you contextualize to it. Like in previous example, I discussed, right? If you pass the garbage, it will give you the garbage, right? Agent can do like a 50 to 60% job for you, 60 to 70% job and vibe coding, but rest 40% which make the impact, you have to be very skilled coder. And I will tell you, if you will go and create a simple ask to create a Java program, right? And but at first shot, it will not create a multi-threaded Java program which understand the mutex and all those things. If you are vibe coding, you have no idea about the performance, the order of and how what is the mutex and how Java parallel threading work. You are never going to reach there because you don't know the concepts of how you will guide the AI on that, and it is not going to generate. It will give very boilerplate code. First instance, it give you very boilerplate code. So you need to ask right question, and to ask right question, you have to have right
Need
knowledge,
to
and
have the
still
skill.
you need a very deep coding skill for that. So again, it is your
Yeah. So
assistant. You cannot delegate to it
yeah.
entirely.
So it can create something, but without your assistance, it cannot create or guidance. It cannot create a full product which works for
Right.
everything, right? So
Right.
thank you. I think it's a good thing. I don't see any question anymore in the chat box, so we can continue to complete this particular slide, which is very important for the people who are interested in learning where to start and what to follow, right? In the confusing world of information, there are a lot of things, but this gives a good path. Saurabh is giving a good path how to start and continue to learn about agentic AI. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I told you, warn you actually, it is going to be information overload, and what told you, it is 10,000 feet overview, but it gives you a good start of where to start. So when you are going somewhere, at least you should know the starting point. Then you will navigate your path and reach to your goal. So that was the idea. So how to take the next step? And you tell, hey, Saurabh, you told me so many things. Now I'm lost. How I learn that things, right? How do I start? And I will say that for everyone, we are learning ABCD of agentic AI, and maybe some people is creating the word, and we want to reach to the syntax and write the novel on that, right? So first things I will say, a very organized path, and I will talk about the AWS. Okay, you should look for the three level of certification, right? The foundation is AI practitioner. Start with that. And if you have no cloud knowledge, I will say start with the cloud practitioner, then go to the AI practitioner. From there, you go to the machine learning engineer. So imagine if you're looking for the job prospect, you also need to understand internals of how these systems are working. And that's where the machine learning will help you. How the hyperparameter work, how the parameter fine tuning work, how this VAE system work, how the transformer architecture work, and all those things. And finally, you become a generative AI developer. With this certification launched 3 months ago, it is still in the early beta. And these three certification will make you a very strong professional, right? And believe me, this certification is really tough. In general, AWS certification are very high bar, right? Pro level, I have seen most of the time people fail in first attempt, and then they took second attempt and passed, especially SA Pro. I did at one time all certification, right? So AI practitioner, then machine learning engineer, and Gen AI developer, this will give you full career path. And also if you are already in career, go to the next level. It will help you to upskill yourself. Now, if you'll go to the AWS skill builder, I have put the link in the slide. It has all the course available free for you. Okay, so this is the AI domain I have put. So you will see more than 100 results are available here. But I will suggest you in this context, you should start with the Agentic AI. So if you will use the Agentic AI course, here is one course which I have put there. This is Agentic AI learning path. So there are different kind of course there, but what we do in the learning path, we kind of bundle this course into a sequential learning. So always look for the learning path. Don't go to the individual course, right? And you have 25 hours of content, which is talking about the 16 training from introduction to agentic AI to the Kiro is your ID, like Kiro, Cursor, Windsurf. You must know the ID where in past you use the Eclipse and Microsoft Visual Studio or VS Code, all those ID. But when it's coming to the agentic AI, different set of the IDs are there. That's what I took the name of the Kiro, Cursor, or Windsurf, right? It will help you to create the agent, debug the agent, and all. Then spec driven development is very important. That's what is Kiro mean for. It means you give the specification and it will develop as per the specification you provided. It is more like a design driven rather than doing the vibe coding and creating something unuseful. Then you use the CLI, the Amazon Bedrock it talked about. So you see the whole lot of content here. I will say for today learning, start from here. It will talk about security and everything, and then start opting about these three certification. I will quickly show how this surveys look into the console also. Okay, 1 minute. So you will get some more idea. So if you'll go to here AWS console, this is Amazon Bedrock is the AI platform. It has everything here. And if you see that a few things I will talk about, the agent we talk about, right? How to create and deploy the agent. What is the agent flow, where how we are orchestrating the agent, and testing and all those things. Knowledge base, this is what I talked about, the RAG knowledge base, right? You can create the knowledge base based on the vector store or structured data store, or Kendra, which is the Gen AI indexing do for you, right? So vector store you can, and then you can integrate it with your agent. And you see the guardrail, that's what we are talking about, the guardrail. You put uh, here I have put one kind of guardrail. We are preventing the our model to provide the fiduciary advice. It means if I'm putting agent, I don't want agent to give the financial advice, because agent is not certified to give the financial advice. It need the SEBI certification. Okay, so that's what I put the fiduciary advice prevention, and I'm saying that it is blocking the different text and all based on the what people are asking, right? So I'm saying if someone is asking provide personalized advice or recommendation or managing financial asset investment or trust, uh, we kind of put a phrase there saying that if people is asking what should I invest my retirement, it is good idea to put money in mutual fund. It will give the advice, but it will say that I cross validate this because I am not the certified financial advisor. So that's how we are putting the guardrail there, right? And I can put the select model, which model I want to apply. I can say, okay, I want to apply Anthropic Sonnet 4.0. And if here I can test, okay, if I will say, give me advice for to invest my retirement fund, and then I will see if and then it will, and I will apply the guardrail on that. I have to type again advice on investment fund, right? And I will run it, so it is triggered that, right? So guardrail intervene, and it is saying I cannot provide journal information for the Acme financial product, right? Because of security reason, and I'm not authorized. And you can view the trace also. That's where we are talking about the observability. So you put anything related to sexual violence, hate, insult, prompt attack, misconduct, I can block that, right? So that's what I was talking in presentation, and now you can see that in the practice. Okay, that is the whole idea I want to put there. And if I will go, so you see that all the things is there in the bedrock. Here you see the prompt management, data augmentation, and and then in agent core, where here I'm going, this is the architecture I'm talking about. Here you can build your entire architecture. You can deploy the agent in the agent runtime, and you can define the policy, identity, authentication, authorization, gateway, and all those things. When you go through these learning paths, it will talk about everything. Go and do lots of hands-on on that. Okay, and so that's what we are giving very focused learning path here, and I have put the link and these screenshots here. Okay, yeah. Any question on that?
Anybody has any questions before we kind of wrap this up? I think it was a very informative session, and people who want to build their first model, he gave a very good path, right? Blueprint. So, and most of these resources are free, so you can learn and get certified as well. Not speaking on behalf of a particular platform, but this is a free knowledge, and to build your skill and make your hands dirty on Agentic AI, you can go and use the skill builder functionality and the feature which is available for everyone. I don't see any question. So we have already put 6 skill builder link in the chat. I have a request that we have also put feedback form. So please provide feedback. If Saurabh, you can skip to the next slide. So next time. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for being with us. And people who have been there, they will have the digital certificate received in their email. They can download from the link. And again, I thank you a lot, Saurabh. I think you have given a structured path and good wishes for your next books also. I think you are doing a fantastic job in spreading the knowledge and skill. And given your wide area of experience and examples, real-time examples, which you have given from the finance side and from the security side, I think it's been a wonderful value addition for the people who have keenly listened in and probably who will use agentic AI in their coming times, right? So thanks a lot to Saurabh, and thanks to Salil, and thanks to everyone else who has participated. And keep waiting for the next session. We are going to have a next session on OffSec by Kaustav, and I will send the webinar details to you. And in the meantime, visit our website hackwithsmile.in, and please provide feedback. Right, this helps us. This helps. We pass it on to the Saurabh also and to everyone. This whatever your appreciation or feedback is, please do let us know so that we can evolve such good sessions for you in future also. Thank you, Saurabh. Thanks a lot, and
Sure.
thank you, everyone.